YouTube, the weekend is calling. It's your boys, Detroit Love, P-Dubs Arcade Love, Michael B. the Game Genie, and Restalgia with another episode of the Super Game Room Dudes Friday Night Just Got Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's Friday night. You know what time it is. Let the dude time commence. Welcome to the Super Game Room, dudes. Unfortunately, our good friend P-Dubs Arcade Loft isn't here tonight. Also, unfortunately, Carl's here, so me and Steven can't wax nostalgic about last week and talking Canadian Parliament, but we'll have to get on with a regular show. Before we do anything else, Carl, how the hell are you, my man?
Man, you know how I do it, baby. It's fantastic.
That's
Weekend's
awesome.
Here. Time to get busy.
Time to get busy. Restalgia, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. It's been a week. It has been a week.
Bloodstorm. Do you even look at the games you put on your arcade before you start?
Yeah, I saw the marquee art, and I was like, that looks okay. I'll use that.
It's good for background.
It looks fine.
Anyways, guys, unfortunately, P-Dubs isn't going to be here with us tonight, and because of that, we have scoured the interwebs trying to find a suitable replacement, somebody that can fill in and be an adequate member of the Super Game Room, dudes. But I'm going to tell you, we rolled snake eyes. We really were scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but luckily we got Timu P-Dubs. James hates everything. I can name the names up.
Yes, I did. Timu P-Dubs in the house.
James, thank you so much for being here at the last minute coming in. I got a show display name so people can see that. Someone turned it off. Probably P-Dubs with all his attitudes and stuff about stuff. Yeah, guys, don't worry about P-Dubs. This is actually a good day for him. He is celebrating his son graduating college today. So now the babe is completely out of the nest. You know, once they graduate college, you just cut them off completely, kick them out of the house, and then it's constantly your time all the time, and that's the life P-Dubs is living. So don't feel bad for Dubs. He's already dead. Anyways, guys, we had a fun night planned. Restalgia,
Yes,
take
sir.
over, my man. You're in charge. You're full
Nope,
of energy.
Bad idea. Bad idea. I don't even know what's on our thumbnail. Bad idea.
Earlier, we knew P-Dubs was out, so I said, guys, do you want to invite anybody? And Carl goes, yeah, let's invite James Hates Everyone. So that's why James is here. And then Restalgia said he was going to invite some guy named Matt, and we all agreed we didn't know who he was talking about.
You know who Matt is. In fact, you do. He's been on the show before. Carl, you know Matt. He was on the show before.
Are you talking about your random friend no one else knows?
You knew him because he was on the show.
one time.
That doesn't matter. Don't
Mike,
claim you don't know the dude.
Come on,
you
know him. You met him in the airport one time, crossing by.
You got to spend like 2 hours of quality time with the dude on a live stream with like 9 other people. Shenanigans. If you tell me you don't know him, that's a lie.
So
But
is
it's
it the same guy, the guy that you had on the show like 4 years ago?
We'll never know.
All right, so we got to say hello to the people in the chat. one person that was suggested by our good buddy Kevin Clausen was Mike of All Trades. Mike, thank you very much for being here tonight. Mike, we do want you on the show sometime, but we can't do it without P-Dubs because P-Dubs will be too sad we stream without you.
Mike, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but when Mike said, do you want to invite anybody? He put in parentheses, anybody but Moat. And I don't know why he's a jerk about it. He did the same thing the last time that we were talking about having someone on as a guest on the show. I'm sorry, man. If it were up to me, you would have been on our show for the last 3 weeks. Just Mike keeps blocking you for some reason.
So the funny thing is, like, that's bad timing because P-Dubs just randomly does this stuff. He's like, oh, there's Moat. We got to have him on the show and stuff like that. And then he was like, let's talk about all the other viewers we're going to have on the show that I'm not going to talk to my co-hosts about to see if they're okay with. So that's the thing. Like, P-Dubs makes these unilateral decisions. And then we got to fucking deal with them. Like, we'll show up on the show sometime and he's just randomly got somebody in the stage. And we're like, thanks for telling us, Dubs.
It never bothered me. It only seemed to bother you, Mike.
I'm sorry. We don't know who these people are.
Anyways, we got the, go ahead.
$2 super chat here from Kevin Clausen. You want to read that out, Carl?
Oh, well, before I do that, I want to do Stock Jock because he did one first for $5. So he says, wait, is that an electric guitar here tuning up? These Super Game Room dudes know how to get the show started. No AI rep from them. Now get off my lawn. Thank you, Stock Jock, for the $5. And then Kevin Clausen always coming through with $2. Thank you. Appreciate that. The plan was to ban 19K Fox, not Moat.
As far as I'm concerned, they've both been banned by Mike. So. God damn it, Mike. We gotta just allow people to be on the show.
All right, so who's gonna do the shout out, guys? Who wants to do that, Carl?
You're the best at that. You do that on your show. You're already tuned for this. I don't know why you pretend this every time, like me and Restalgia is going to stand up for that.
All right, guys, let's do the shout outs. We got Dan Z, Dan in St. Louis. Good to see you, my man. Jason Little Alien. It was his birthday a couple days ago. If you haven't already, wish him a happy birthday. We got To Be Me, The Be Me. Very nice to see you. Paul Mindeman. I always get your name wrong, but Hurley K, Foth Og 13. I hope I said that right. Calvin Wong, Mad Dog, Stock Jock, who just gave it that awesome super chat. David H, Cornercade. Who else we got here? Trying to catch everybody. David H, I think I already said. Zim, get in there. Always good to see Zim. Couple
real
repeats.
Zim, not the regular.
No. That's the fake Zim. The real Zim. He doesn't have his name anymore. AtGames took it from him. James Hates Everything is here. Hey. Brian G. Who else we got? I don't want to miss anybody. Meatball Saucy. Absolutely one of my favorite people to play Walkabout Mini Golf with because he's absolutely loaded. He looks like some kind of weird, like bald eagle monster type thing, and he is doing dances when he gets holes in one. It's awesome. Retro Arcade Trooper, good to see you, my man. Leo, John Fritz, Cat Dad's Arcade, Gallagher Guy 88. Don't forget, guys, Gallagher Guy going live tonight after this with what is it? The Drinky show, he calls it. What is it called again, James? You know this.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what
Gaming
it's called.
Happy Hour.
Horrible of me.
What an awful friend. Gaming Happy Hour. Come on. Put James on the spot once. He's already failing.
And he drops the ball. Fumble.
Sir Sega's here. Bill's Retro Gaming Show, now known as Filthy Bill for some reason. I'll never understand. JJ, Rotundo, The Fist of Love, Steve Sale, Kevin Clausen, B. Kirby. B, always good to see you, my man. Con L01. Who else we got here? JR, always awesome to see you, my man. JR has been around for years. MSU Rich, John J, CGM. I'm not good at this. Dale Cummins into the line. Hazo. And I think that's everybody. Moat was here earlier. I saw that as well. If I missed anybody, I'm greatly sorry, guys, but we got to get this show going. JT Brunick, see you, aka MG Porta Dreams, Retro Dude Carl Young, Tony C, hello, Dollar Store Dubs, Gamer Fridge. I just beat yours and James' score on Attack from Mars. That is not anything to be excited about. I played like 2 games, Gamer Fridge, and they were horrible games for me. I just beat your scores when you played terribly. Oh, poor Gamer Fridge showed up a lot in my Pinball FX Williams video today because it always seemed to come up when I was beating his scores. It wasn't intentional, but MG thought it was. Bobby 1ALU, nice to see you. All right, guys, let's rock and roll. So, Restalgia, you came up with the topics tonight. Where do you want to get started to?
Let's start with Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yes, that's a great place to start. So, Xbox has been absolutely bananas, especially with Game Pass the last little while. Only one hiccup with Xbox. They started to gain some positive momentum. Then they raised their prices and made everybody hate them again, but still delivering some awesome stuff. We're still on a high from Expedition 33, still on a high from Oblivion Remastered, so many other good games out there, Atom Falls, South of Midnight. Indiana Jones was still recently. It's only 4 or 5 months now. But now we get Doom: The Dark Ages. Has anybody had a chance to play it yet?
No.
Nope.
No, sir. I'm not actually a big fan of the newer Doom games.
Really? I'd like to hear this theory.
It's not a theory. It's me being a complete pansy.
This isn't a theory. It's a game theory.
You know what happens to me?
Hmm.
Guess what happens when I play that game for any longer than 3.5 minutes?
You throw it.
I get so motion sick.
Really?
I want to so desperately play those games, but almost any first party or any first person view game, it just kills me. I can't do it.
Yeah, my wife, she cannot play those type of games. I wanted to say Doom is one of the games that I played probably more than any other game I've ever played. We've had that for ages back in the day. I used to work in the auto industry. No, you know, I'm in Motown, so it's kind of hard not to. But we used to work on these computer-aided design machines, and we got Doom running on those CAD machines, and they were all networked together, so we could all chase each other around the boards playing Doom for hours. Of course, on our lunch break, not when we were paid to do anything.
Never during the day, right? Never.
But those are big Unix machines, and Doom was one of the first ports that would work on PCs and Unix back in the day. It had to be the early 90s, I guess.
Oh yeah, Doom was such a big back in the day. I remember when Doom 2 first came out. I wasn't a big PC guy at the time. Like I didn't play PC games. We had a PC, but we didn't play a lot of PC games. And my dad's friend came in and his son was a big PC gamer. So we went out to the store and he bought Doom 2. And it came on like 8 those, not the floppy disks, but remember the smaller, what is it? The
3.5.
3.5 discs. Yeah. So it came on like 4 or 5 of those. So he installed it on my computer. And then when he was leaving, he was like, yeah, I got to uninstall it now. I was like, no, you don't. Just leave it on my fucking computer, man. And he's like, no, that's wrong. That's software piracy. And I was like, you nerd. Just leave it on my computer.
Like, who would know?
Right, exactly. But really, 1 second, guys. I apologize. I'm just trying to share this. This may crap out our whole stream, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. Here is Doom: The Dark
out the sides. So you can stay hyper-focused on directly what's in front of you. I don't know. I can manage with VR. Some games put me out. There's some games I'll probably never play because I can't handle it. But any of these first-person style games, I just can't do. I think the last one I did was like 007, GoldenEye for N64. And then after that, I was kidding. Wow. It was just, it was done.
You were the weirdest dude ever, man.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just the way my brain works. It is what it is. There are plenty of other games that I can play and enjoy.
What about you, Temu P-Dubs? Is this one on your list? You're going to play this? I know you're a Game Pass guy.
So I do like first-person shooters, but unfortunately, I haven't played Doom Eternal yet, even. So I feel like jumping into this one, I'm a little mean, obviously, I don't know if they're actually connected or not, being medieval, right?
Doom story.
Yeah,
Come on.
Doom just kills stuff. But what I am kind of excited about, I don't know if you saw the McFarlane Elite Doom figure for this game. Oh man, it's so good. It's
I like
very nice,
very
actually.
specific toys, James. Don't try to bring your fantasies and love into this. Do you know James? Like, I think James is fixated on toys now. Do you know what he spent his money on today? James bought a Sesame Street Counting Count NECA figure. So you drop what, like $60 on that? $80?
It's 35 US.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's like
For the
$80 Canadian.
the Count from Sesame Street. Yeah, you got to have that.
For what? What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Take pictures of it, and I have some ideas around it, but then it'll just sit on a shelf somewhere and collect dust.
Maybe you can do some stop motion.
Yeah, I've been doing some like shorts for action figures instead of doing like long form content on it, doing little like quick little unboxings with doing photography around it. And I bought some like, diorama setups so that it looks interesting and stuff. So I'm experimenting with that stuff in my shorts. So I have some ideas around the Count that are decidedly not Sesame Street related, so it should be interesting.
So no Doom Dark Ages for you, Restalgia. You're not going to play.
No interest.
Carl's not going to play.
No. I don't know. I haven't played games like that in such a long time. And like Restalgia was mentioned, the 007 on that was Nintendo
And 64,
64. I don't know. When they went into that blocky 3D thing, it just did nothing for me, and so I hadn't really played any modern version of those shooters like that at all. Don't even know where to start. I don't have a whole lot of time to play games, so I have to be very.
You have no time to play games, but you can do stop motion with Barbie dolls.
Yeah, I can do that
Fuck out
quickly.
of here.
Yeah, I can do that real quickly.
I don't have time to be playing games. Ooh, Ken.
Yeah. Well, his name's not Ken, by the way. He has no name.
He had names last week.
Yeah, those the skit already had those names in it.
Oh, that was hilarious. Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm excited for Doom the Dark Ages. I will tell you, I'm going to keep going on and on about this. It's wild that I already had such an insane backlog with physical games I purchased. It's amazing now looking at my Xbox, which lay dormant for so long. And I have a backlog on Xbox just from Game Pass games I got to get to. I think that's fascinating. So I'm a big Doom guy. I played through both Doom and Doom Eternal like right away. Like my brother was so excited when Doom Eternal came out. So I'm going to get into it, but I got to finish Alan Wake first, and I started Expedition 33. So I got a lot of shit going on. So very excited to sink my teeth into Doom the Dark Ages. Not there yet, sadly. And unfortunately, none of the co-hosts can help me out on this one at all.
I have unfortunately I have what's it called? Game
Pass.
Game Pass, because my daughter insists I pay for it with my credit card for some reason, and she plays it, but she takes my my console and disappears with it, so I never know when it's here. But I have a 360 and Xbox X, so I might pull one out and see in between playing with my dowels.
Yeah, my biggest problem with my Xbox is my wife also has an Xbox Series S, and she plays Dreamlight Valley on it all the time. But when I got it for her, she logged in and she'd already started playing on mine with my account. So now her Dreamlight Valley is locked to my account. So whenever she plays as me, which means I can't jump on and play. So bit of a problem. Oh, I'm bringing this up here. Yo, dudes, greetings from my son's college grad party. Drink some tasty beverages and have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers, P-Dub. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, congrats. That's huge.
All right, guys. So I know Paul Minderman will appreciate this. That's all the console chatter we read. Nope, there is one more piece of console chatter we got to get to. One more. So, Carl, you're an owner of this arcade cabinet. James, I don't know if you had this one or not. Restalgia, I know that you don't own arcades anymore. You're all about handhelds. And you do own arcades?
Nope, I don't.
Well, I don't think you do if you're putting Bloodstorm on there.
It was just a pretty marquee.
Anyways, Nintendo released a very interesting title for Nintendo Switch Online late last night. Killer Instinct Gold from the N64 is now available for Nintendo Switch Online members, owners, or whatever you want to call it. So for me, this is rad, but also anticlimactic, Carl, because I can already play Killer Instinct pretty well on an arcade cabinet downstairs with my, Killer Instinct Arcade OneUp Pro machine. So, but at the same time, like, this is amazing for people that don't have arcade cabinets in their home and stuff like that. There was a time we never thought we'd see Nintendo and Rare do work together again or release games like this.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. I hadn't seen that version of that. I didn't grow up playing Killer Instinct at all. It only came on the radar for me, period, because every time I would build take a Street Fighter 2 arcade one up and mod it, to a multicade, people would always ask, will I be able to play, Killer Instinct? And I would have to say, no, you cannot play Killer Instinct on it, and so they kept talking about it. So I'm like, I should probably see what this game is all about. And that's the only reason why I got even interested in Killer Instinct, because it's not a game I played at all in arcade.
Weirdly enough, I think I actually prefer Killer Instinct 2 over the original. I know that's going to piss people off, but I do. I really like it. So anyways, this looks rad. Excited for people. And you can play online too with Nintendo Switch Online. Yeah. So people are going to be able to play Killer Instinct Gold and 64 against each other. A lot of people having fun in the community with that. Restalgia, you're a modding guy. Why was Killer Instinct so hard to get working on so many different platforms like Raspberry Pi? There's rumors out there that AtGames still can't get it working for their hardware.
I think it's compatibility with emulators. I think that's really all it was. The game itself does require a little bit more beef to run, so you typically need a little bit more extra power, but it's also not often optimized. If you've got a reasonable PC at this point, you can run those games no problem. Like, you don't need a top of the line graphics card to do it, but something like on a Pi, you have to optimize it for that chipset, and not a lot of people do. So it is what it is. Just some games don't run well on some emulators, and that's just how she goes.
Now, Killer Instinct Super Nintendo came out. That seemingly ran pretty well. I would imagine Nintendo would have a good handle on making sure this worked pretty properly, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to release a game that doesn't run well. Now, Nintendo has...
Now, they've released a lot of games that just don't run well because they were shit in the first place. If you go back and look at the entire Super Nintendo library.
That's fair, but I don't think that they would release a game like this on their online platform unless it was running, so...
Yeah,
I think, I think it'll run just fine. I don't see it being a problem. So,
I think if AtGames, I know that the 4K ALU is delayed right now or canceled, whatever you want to call it. I think they can still get Killer Instinct to work on the original AtGames Legends Ultimate if they wanted to sell it to people. The only problem is there's an upfront cost because you're gonna have to pay Code Mystics. They're the people who can get it done.
Yeah, and I don't know that Code Mystics would use the original ROM files. They probably would do a modified ROM file, or some sort of a port of the game. So, yes, in theory, it could be done. I think it's possible. I think it's going to be really, really heavy on the upfront costs, and I also think that they would need to do a lot of cleanup on their UI and the processes that are running in the background of their machines. So I think the overall cost of that is just way too high.
Yeah.
Putting Code Mystics aside, I think the work that they would have to do on their own operating system would be too high too.
So do you think the idea of seeing actual Killer Instinct on an AtGames product is dead in the water then? If we're not going to get the new chipset for the more powerful AtGames Legends Ultimate, and we're stuck with the current one, I mean, it's not going to work unless AtGames pays someone to do it, and the return on investment just might not be there.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
if they brought Restalgia back, they would have a good chance.
Yeah.
That's true. It's always true.
They have to
Aside
win him
from
over
that,
from the Walmart cell phone counter, though.
It's
and I
gonna
don't
be
think
hard,
that-
man. Walmart commissions are top tier.
Plus, there's the side business.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know that I'm the man for that job, to be completely honest. You need some. I know some guys who can do it. I'm not the guy to do it. That's not something I want to start dealing with. So I don't know if this is in their cards or not. They've surprised us before. I think it's doable. And quite frankly, they've come a significant way
big
from when
time.
I was there. So even with their new machines that are running the new CE operating system, I don't actually know what that looks like. I don't have any experience with that. I don't know what the source code looks like. I don't know what like how the engine's built and how efficient it runs on the chipset and how resource heavy it is. I don't actually know any of that information. So everything I'm talking about is legacy. So maybe their new OS is capable, and maybe they can get this port running on it, and it's actually much easier than I think it is. So I wouldn't say it's not going to come. I just don't know, if I'm being completely honest.
So I find it incredibly funny with Nintendo Switch Online that the N64, a console that only had like 300 games and only about 20 good ones, has more good games, more good content in its library than the Super Nintendo library on Nintendo Switch Online and the NES library. How is that possible?
That's a good
Really
question.
good
They're
question, dude.
completely ignoring the older stuff, right? In favor of the up tier level of Nintendo Switch Online.
I gotta say, guys, the nostalgia behind N64, maybe for you guys, isn't there. But my age group, like anyone between the ages of like 18 and maybe 39, I think N64 is a pretty top tier console for them. And if it's not a top tier console, there are specific games within that console list that people really, really like. So I think that's why they're putting a bit of a focus on it. But realistically, like we've got now GameCube coming for the Switch 2. So I think that like maybe they're putting a bit of focus on N64, but I think it's going to shift right into GameCube, and we're going to get a lot of focus on GameCube pretty soon on the Switch 2. And I think it's just like the natural life cycle of things. They did NES and Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and Super Nintendo and N64, and now it's on to GameCube, and we'll see what happens on that front.
Yeah, there's not as many good GameCube games as there is at 64. Unfortunately,
it'll be interesting to see what they pony up. The thing that I like about this announcement with the Killer Instinct on the N64 is that they are clearly working with Rare, and there's a lot of games that are Rare titles that have already come out. So they've got the Banjo titles that are already out. They did 007, which was a Rare title. And now they've got Killer Instinct, and I think that's it. Is Perfect Dark on there too, or no?
Yeah, Perfect Dark's on there. It's under
Perfect-
N64 Mature.
Okay, so Perfect Dark's on there too. So the big ones that they're missing are Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I don't think is on there.
No.
And Donkey Kong 64 would be another big one. I would love. That would be like, if they put that on there, I would actually subscribe to it, because I'm not even subscribed to it at this point.
Can you do the rap from DK64?
I still can, but I'm not going to.
Come on, do it.
I will not do it. I will not do it. I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna debut my music career on the Super Game Room, dudes. And then the other one that I think a lot of people slept on is Jet Force Gemini. That game is so badass. I love that game. So this is an indication that we're actually going to start seeing some of that stuff. I really want to see. Primarily, I'd love to see Donkey Kong 64, Jet Force Gemini, and Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah,
so maybe we'll get that. Maybe we'll get that.
Speaking of the GameCube, that comes into play this week as well, too, because I don't know if you knew, Restalgia, but apparently MG says that this was always in the works. But May 13th, the GameCube controller went up for sale through NintendoOnline.com. Mm-hmm. And me and James, we had a fun time. James got really lucky, got in like pretty much right away, but I had to wait over an hour to get my GameCube controller.
I actually had no idea that was the case.
I didn't either. MG says it was always supposed to be May 13th. I had no clue. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention.
Yeah, I think we'll get it eventually. Like, I'm not as worried about the controllers. Like, they're cool, but I think for the most part, almost all of their controllers are available at this point.
Yeah.
So this, like, am I upset that I'm not going to get it on launch? No, because I'll just use a Switch Pro controller if I really want to. And I don't have a problem playing any of these titles that are going to be initially launched without an official GameCube controller. But for the collectors out there, it's still pretty slick. Like, I like having officially released classic controllers that are compatible with the console. So, but that's wild.
Hey,
here's the other thing.
Go ahead, James. I was just wondering if you're streaming this off of American Online or something here.
Yeah.
Oh, why is it not clear on your end?
Everything looks
very choppy.
Yeah, very choppy.
Yeah, it happens for some reason with my terrible Canadian internet. Whenever I bring up this stuff, it doesn't work very well.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is, even if you don't get this GameCube controller, the adapter from the Switch 1 works. So if you have a real GameCube controller or the one from the Wii U, you can plug it into the Switch or Switch 2 and it'll work fine. It's on the fully compatible list.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can actually use an OG controller. Forget this new stuff. Play with the originals, and you're good to go. Plus, there's a bunch of third-party controllers that work really well with them.
Oh, here we go, shilling all the other people. He's like, hey, you guys, did you see this controller I got from Retro Brawler? Yeah.
Mad Cats, and get your Mad Cats controller out.
Really quick.
Controller are that's a walk down memory lane.
Get your Wavebird, play that one.
So really quickly, I still have a Wavebird. Stockshot gifted 10 Super Game Room Dudes memberships. Apparently, P-Dubs got one. I found that really interesting. Welcome to the Super Game Room Dudes, P-Dubs. Thank you very much for doing that, Stockshot, and welcome all our new members. Restalgia, sorry for that dig about the controllers, but I know you are excited to talk about third-party controllers sent to you for review.
I wasn't actually going to like name drop anybody, but if you want me to, I can. No, there's a lot of options. Like the Switch, for the Switch, there's a ton of third-party controllers that you can buy in all different sort of formats. If you want something that's customized for N64 gameplay, that exists. If you want something for NES or Super Nintendo, that exists. You want something for GameCube, it exists. So if you weren't able to get one, like, don't panic. Don't go on eBay and buy one for 3 times the price. Either wait it out or pick up a slightly less expensive alternative, and you'll be able to enjoy your gameplay on it.
You know what I'm really excited about? I don't know if you know this, but apparently these Nintendo, even the classic controllers, are compatible with the analog Pocket deck.
The official ones from Nintendo?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is it just through a Bluetooth connection?
James, what'd you say?
I said I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and apparently it's recently new. They work somehow with that. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's science or what it is, but apparently they work.
I mean, they're all Bluetooth controllers, so maybe it's able to connect in through a Bluetooth connection, and I don't know. It works.
Yeah, I didn't know that it had a Bluetooth on the Pocket.
On the analog Pocket. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
On the dock, my friends. Yep.
Yeah, that's actually pretty slick.
Yeah,
that's slick.
It's crazy. They use something called Bluetooth like it's some open standard. Nuts. So anyways, guys, that's the GameCube controller news. Congratulations to anybody who got one. They did sell out afterwards, though. Like, you can't access them now, right? And it was a friggin' nightmare. Like, I spent an hour and 45 minutes in queue, and then at the last minute, as I was literally walking out the door, I checked one last time, and it was there. So I'm very happy to get one. I'm crazy for this stuff. I buy all of them. So yeah. Carl, get the fuck away from the buttons.
You was just so excited about that.
I am excited.
Appropriate.
Anyways, that's enough console chatter. Let's move on.
We're not going to talk about one more thing for console chatter.
There's a big one today.
There's a huge one. I don't know, James. I don't know if you and I are talking about the same thing.
Probably.
But it is related to this topic.
Okay, let's rock. Go.
James, I'll let you say it just in case you're thinking something different than me. Because if you are, then I'll say my point after. Go ahead.
So I was going to say Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is out today.
That's actually a good one, yeah.
Yeah. So
was it the same one?
Pretty big one.
That's not what I was thinking.
No. Yeah, like I saw people online, they're really excited to play Power Stone and stuff like that. It's awesome. We covered it when it first came out.
Yeah.
I'm so busy. I'm waiting for a sale on this one. There's nothing on that list that really jumps out and is like, I need to have that immediately. Like, I can play Power Stone on so many emulators.
Oh yeah. Well, the physical edition is basically sold out in lots and lots of places. It blew out quick, as opposed to the Marvel Fighting Collection, right? That is like 50 deep everywhere you go. So see how fast they restock, but it's hard to find if you're going physical.
Carl, do you care about Marvel Fighting Collection 2? Is that something that was on your list? No. I'm not the biggest fighter guy. I have my nostalgic fighters that I played a lot, but once you get outside that realm, like you get into the like late 90s with fighters and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah.
I'm all about Bloodstorm lately. I don't know, something about that has been really.
That's a good one.
Every time I look at it, it reminds me of The Simpsons. Remember Bone Storm? Buy me Bone Storm or go to hell.
Yes.
Yeah, no, my point that I was going to talk about is I don't know if you got this, Mike, but I got an email today from Nintendo.
I did,
saying that they are starting to send out links to purchase the Nintendo Switch 2 directly from Nintendo.
Yep.
So
if you're somebody today,
James actually got a link to buy one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on Wednesday I got mine.
Okay, very good. I did not. I just got the email today saying that they're starting to roll out. Now I don't know if it's different in the US than in Canada, so maybe we are on a different
who knows?
I don't know. But if you put your name on the waiting list for Nintendo Switch 2 directly from the Nintendo store, keep an eye out on your inbox so that way you get it. My understanding is that once they send you a link, the link is only valid for 36 hours.
Yeah, you get 3 days. 3 days.
72 hours.
Like 72 hours.
72
and you
hours.
get access to all the accessories, which you can't buy without it right now. So
that's right.
Not all of them. Some you can, but the good ones you can't.
So if you're interested in that, keep an eye on your inbox. But
What is the Switch thing, you guys?
Nintendo Switch 2, Carl.
it's kind of like a transformer, except it's modern.
You can play your golf game on it with a bigger screen and more
Are
powerful
there any
processing.
exclusive games that I won't be able to play on my regular old?
Yeah. PGA Tour 2K30 is going to be on it, and that's an exclusive Switch 2 title.
You'll have to get a new pinball table for the Switch 2 to slide into.
Ooh, now this I'm sad about. Bravely Default is out of stock too. I'm gonna have to check stock here in Canada, see if it's the same thing, because that is one I wanted. I never really got through Bravely Default on the 3DS, so I'm excited to go back through. At the same time, I don't know if I'm fucking excited to go back through, because I also never got through Bravely Default 2 on the Switch. So why am I buying Bravely Default again? I just can't seem to get through it.
I've never played it.
MG brought up a really good comment here about fighting collections, and I think I'm a little burnt out on it. Fighting collections are like wives. Once you got 2 or 3, you don't need anymore. James, you want to tell me your feelings on that?
Well, I guess I shouldn't have bought a whole lot of fighting collections.
Guys, I don't know if you know this.
Like wives, so there you go.
I don't know if you know this. James is a polygamist.
We won't judge you, James. It's all good.
James's house is a lot like Detroit Love's computer screen. There's just naked women everywhere.
I have my own harem going on back there. So.
That's a little bit of an inside joke we have. James hates monogamy.
Oh, well played, sir.
All right, so moving on. Now are we done with consoles now? Is everybody done?
There was one more thing for console.
Okay, drop it on me.
I don't know what it is. I thought you knew.
Carl, do you got anything on consoles?
No, sir.
But you do have something for us, don't you?
No,
about
sir.
the internet. About
No,
you.
sir.
You didn't do a you on the web tonight?
I did.
All right. Give it to us, Big Daddy. Come on.
All right, here we go. We're back with another You on the Web spotlight. And this one's a classic. Tommy Guns hopped on the Arcade OneUp and Modding Facebook group to share a story that had us all shaking our heads and grinning. He picked up a modded pinball machine off a marketplace for $100. Sounds like a dream, right? But then reality hits. The screen says no signal and shuts off like it had enough of this world. Turns out the seller was a widow. Her late husband built the machine and packed it full of games, a true labor of love. She didn't know the ins and outs, just that he spent a lot of time and money on it. Tommy took it off her hands, probably thinking he'd struck gold. And he did, kind of. The group jumped in right away to help, and someone immediately spotted the issue. Your graphic card is just laying on the bottom, not even plugged in. Imagine buying a tricked out sports car and finding the engine in the trunk. But here's the beauty of this community. Nobody clowned them. They gave real advice. HDMI cables, BIOS lights, power supply checks, and a few bro, get a PC tech to check this out ASAP. Tommy didn't get scammed. He got a challenge, a project, and maybe a piece of someone's legacy. PSA time. Take care of yourselves, guys, because if you don't, all of those arcade treasures you've built with pride might just end up on Facebook Marketplace for $100. And a guy named Tommy will be asking strangers, what's the HDMI port?
Nice.
That was excellent.
You got the AI generated images in there too. It's beautiful. Looks good.
Tommy has some guns, boy, doesn't he?
For sure. But yeah, man, he picked that thing up $100 for it. Now, who wouldn't get it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, $100 is a arcade OneUp modded pinball machine, but obviously the guy passed away before he got the thing finalized. But I think he'll get it going, so I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of that.
So it is a really nice story because the internet can suck, man. Like, be awful. Like, usually if you go to one of these groups and you're like, help, my pinball's not working, people are like, noob, dork. Like, they just fire into you. But it's nice to see people genuinely interested in the hobby and interested in helping other people. So really good story, Carl.
Sure.
All right, guys. So moving on, people come here to talk about arcades for some reason. So I want to talk about Iconic Arcade. Now, I know James is up on this. Believe me, I know James is up on top of this. But what about you, Restalgia and Carl? Have you been following what's going on with Iconic Arcade in the last couple of days? So this thing came out for pre-order in January. A lot of rumors, speculation about cease and desist orders, other things like that happened. The company's gone dead fucking silent for the longest time, but this past week we did get some updates. So the cabinet is now being delayed. It's not shipping out June 5th like originally said. It's coming out on October 15th, and then they release a statement themselves kind of saying that our target is October 15th, but it's coming out Q4 2025. So what do you think, Restalgia? Like, I mean, with the tariff situation, do you think this is acceptable? Do you think it's acceptable not to communicate with your pre-order holders until after you have rescheduled the delivery? What do you think?
I don't know what I think about this. I did see like little messages here and there when I was scrolling through Facebook over the last few days. I saw John D putting up a couple posts about an announcement being made yesterday. I didn't read the official announcement, but yeah, I mean, it's shitty for anyone who pre-ordered. The tariff situation, I think, is an interesting one because it wasn't really Canada, but the United States did have tariffs against China, and China then retaliated with their own set of tariffs. But that was very short-lived. And now they're on some sort of like 90-day tariff reduction, whatever that's called. Where the tariffs are really not any greater than they've ever been between the two countries. And I do recognize that it's only 90 days and lots of stuff can happen between now and then. But I think that I wouldn't blame this delay on the tariffs. I don't think that is the single reason. And I think if that indeed was the single reason, he would have known about the target dates far sooner than he announced them. And I also think that they wouldn't be so far out if it was tariff related. In fact, if it was tariff related, he'd be trying to push them out as soon as possible within this 90-day window. So
yeah,
I don't know what to say there. Do I think it's related to a cease and desist from Arcade OneUp? Maybe. Do I think they would have gotten into trouble if they actually had a cease and desist and then put out a public announcement saying they still intend to release the product? They probably would get in trouble. So I think that right now it's a lot of speculation. I don't really know what to make of it. I just think it's shitty for anyone who's pre-ordered.
Yeah, I think it's shitty it's delayed, but like I wouldn't panic. I mean, people are just like, oh my God, they stole your money. This is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. They stole your money. Literally, if you go to the website right now, click cancel, you'll be refunded within 2 days. It's pretty well recorded that you'll be refunded immediately. Nobody's had an issue getting refunds. This isn't some fly-by-night company. This is Lenovo. So, I mean, I think we can stop that speculation. Now, is the product going to be delayed? Is it ever going to come out? You can still speculate all you want about that shit. But in terms of you being hoodwinked or having your money stolen, you're an idiot if you believe that. Just cancel and get it back in 2 days.
Is that what I also want to clarify, because Paul Minderman saying it isn't shitty pre-orders get delayed. That is shitty when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not calling Iconic Arcade shitty or that they're doing this to their consumers shitty. I'm saying it's a shitty situation to be in where you put a pre-order in and then your pre-order gets delayed. Like, that sucks. I'm not ever looking forward to my pre-order getting delayed. So just wanted to clarify that. But yeah, Mike, with what you're saying is like, it's a uncomfortable and annoying situation, but nobody's getting screwed. If you're concerned about it, go cancel your pre-order. Like, if you're the type of
very
person
simple
panicking,
yeah.
And I don't have a whole lot of experience with pre-orders, but one of the pre-orders I did do was the Zotar with that got delayed, and I wasn't stressed out about it, as a company that's been around, had a relationship with, so I wasn't really concerned about it, though it was constant delays, but they did communicate about it, I think in a regular enough way where I wasn't concerned. And also the price of it was not at the same level.
Yeah, I mean, Solitaire was what, less than $100?
Right. So, but then on the same time, I have another pre-order through whatever the big toys, whatever things, that Spider-Man thing, and that's like $300 thing. I had to put a deposit of $30 down, so it's not a big deal. But that's been delayed with no idea. It's supposed to come out in April, and I still don't know. So it's frustrating when you don't know. So I think anytime you have a situation like that, even if you don't know, you should be saying something that, hey, we understand, it's the economy, the tariffs, there's a lot of moving parts that it may or may not affect. We can't say, but I just want to communicate to you that we have your best interest in hand, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So I think the communication is key. Anytime you got somebody's money, right? That you should be saying something as opposed to, because the imagination is always going to be worse than reality anytime, right? So you lead people to their imagination, they're going to dream of the worst case scenario ever. So I think it's key. But when we just talk about Iconic Arcade, when you guys went, the people that went out to Vegas, right, and saw that, was it Vegas, right? That you guys saw it?
Yep. See, yes.
When I saw it, and then the things that people had, the changes that I always thought that date was a little too early to begin with. So to me, that date was never realistic, because if you were considering any of those changes that people brought up, right? Because the fact that it was just a prototype. But we know China can put some stuff out, but we also know when you're developing something new, there's always room for something to go wrong before you have to switch shops over there because something didn't go the way you anticipated. So I didn't believe in those dates to begin with. So I think they should have more realistic dates. So I don't think it's related to tariffs. I think they have some challenges that needs to get worked out. Do I think they'll come to market? Yeah. When? Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I think it's important to get it out by Q4 2025. all retailers right now, especially with this 90-day window, are trying to pound stuff out and get stuff into stores for that magical Christmas area, which means they have to get stuff shipped. I think it's by September in order to even remotely get to the stores for Christmas time. Really quickly, Goofy Foot, what? And you believe the update? Goofy, not all of us are, as quick-witted as you. Like, I mean, some of us are pretty gullible. Like, some of us would jump in a car and travel 3.5 hours to go pick up a Stern pinball with no picture. That's clearly a Data East pinball, but not you, my man. You are a true believer. You see through the bullshit. So, some of us want to be more like you.
Why are you being so aggressive to the people watching our show, Mike? It's really
James
rude.
knows.
Goofy knows.
Goofy Foot, I want to apologize on behalf of all of the Super Game Room dudes for the sass that you just experienced.
You know how you can apologize to him, Restalgia? Send him a couple dry tacos. He'll be good.
I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if that's intended to be funny or offensive, but I will not be sending anybody any dry tacos.
B Kirby, thank you very much, man. $2 super chat. I would agree with Restalgia on Iconic Arcade. Yeah,
B Kirby's my dude.
What?
He's my dude.
B Kirby's everybody's dude, man. B Kirby's awesome. So Goofy Foot. Ask for pics next time. So yeah, the iconic thing. The other thing, I think a lot of us, whenever this stuff comes up, we demand answers, and a lot of companies don't give a shit, man. They're not going to give you answers on any of this stuff. That's pretty normal, even when a pre-order is delayed. I mean, everybody's making a big deal about this being delayed and no communication, but everybody picks and chooses. Like, we're going to talk about Glenn in a minute, GRS. I mean, people have orders over a year for his KVM iArcade switchers. Haven't heard shit. I mean, this is pretty normal. I mean, also going back to Glenn, and this is New Wave Toys, I got to notice a year ago today, pre-orders went live for the Golden Tee with the GRS deck and stuff like that. People got money out there. They've got money down on that. Where's all the complaints and craziness about that? I mean, people are very selective with who they want to go after. And, John D is one of those people that some people like in the community, and he's really pissed off some other people. Like, it's that whole movement, I stand with Glenn and stuff like that. So, people are less likely to believe him, I guess, or whatever it is, but wild shit, right?
Yeah, and let's face it, like I'm a guy that bought the Poly Mega when it came out, right? When it was announced, paid, well over $700 for that. It took 3 years for that to be delivered. And all the while they said nothing. Like, for maybe you got one update every 6 months, right? And ultimately they delivered. But, it was a nightmare. So like when I've had experiences like that, like, a couple month delay is like nothing. And like Carl said, it would have been nearly impossible to hit that date. I know, like, John was optimistic, Iconic was optimistic, but we know to get something here, you have to leave China 2 months earlier, right? So for them, like you said, that hit that September timeframe to get it here for October, they actually have to ship that like in August or early August just to get it here in time to ship for October 15th. And they had to redesign the cab to move buttons around. They have to develop a UI. They have to develop, new control system, like put the right controls in place.
And based on Michael, they had to change the whole graphics on it.
And they had to go
well,
back
that's
and
because the first graphics sucked.
Right? And so you were doing that. So there was likely going to be some delay anyway. And then you had, supposedly the chaos of a rumored cease and desist, which is, we still don't know how much of that is accurate or what it's about or who it went to, but you had that. And I know we're in this space, so we talk about it all the time. So it seems like they don't say anything, but it's May. They announced this thing in January. In February, they had the Double Dragon stuff. In March, they did make an announcement mid-March. Now they used BKong and not sent it out wider, which was weird. But, on BKong's stream, they made an official announcement about a slight delay and that they were still coming out. Nothing in April, but here we are in May, and they commented, they sent messages directly to people with pre-orders. They did it on Wednesday. They did it Monday, and then turned around and did it on Tuesday, then Thursday, sorry. And John posted something publicly on Facebook. So they've been communicating all except for April, like every 30 days. So it's not like they've been completely silent.
James,
they're just not showing us what we want to see. And I still think, and I criticized them, like they are too quiet. We need to see a UI. We need to see the changes. And they haven't shown any of that, which is very frustrating.
James, are you pretty much calling all of the customers little bitches?
No,
that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's easy for us that are making content daily and talking about these things daily for that time frame to seem like, man, it's been forever, but it's really just like 4 weeks ago.
Whoa! You're making content about this daily? What are you?
No,
Cornercade?
I mean.
There's nothing to fucking talk about.
Mike, you just called everybody.
Apparently, I'm a bad guy if I don't think it's worth more than a post about the date.
Hey guys, it looks like P-Dubs logged in with one of his alt accounts. If P-Dubs were here, there'd be 400 viewers. So, anyways, thanks for that, P-Dubs VC. Yeah. Oh my God, B Kirby, you didn't have to do that, man. Carl, take it home.
$20, man. We thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. So I was nervous when I saw James with you guys because James hates everyone, right? And I was like, great, another hour-long show about making a game with AI, which is boring as watching grass grow. Thank God Restalgia's calling the topics. LOL. Love you, James.
Thank you so much.
I love you, B Kirby. You're my bro.
Spirit animal. So I do want to just bring up a couple of facts. Jason Lillian brought up a good point, and I mean, you have to call a spade a spade. That link being broken on the Iconic Arcade website, and then no answer to that, and no notice or anything like that, and just, well, it's still for pre-order on the VMI website. Who the fuck is going to go, oh, I'm just going to go to VMI. I'm going to look up VMI on the internet. So, I mean, it's not like it's easy to find. The fact that that link is broken is super suspicious, and it's making people uncomfortable. So I think a lot of us will get like to get answers on this. And then, of course, these rumors came out about the cease and desist. And, no company can probably even officially answer that. Like, if there's a cease and desist or if there's legal action going on, they can't fucking comment on that. There's probably a gag order. It's probably illegal for them to comment on that. So, or it will cost them a fortune to comment on that. So they probably can't say anything, but it does raise questions in the community that we want answers. So it's a little frustrating having all this speculation and dark clouds around something you're excited about, you probably pre-ordered, and then not hearing anything from them. But it's not abnormal for companies to do that. Restalgia, I know you know a little bit about business. James is, oh my God, I'm not going to get him started on this. But if a company is in fact, in the middle of legal action, whether it is or whether it is not, more than likely there's a gag order, and they really can't comment on the situation, right?
Well, I don't know that there would be a gag order.
It's also just bad business to talk about.
It's not even the bad business, but once you get put on notice, effectively anything that you say thereafter it's like being arrested. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Yep.
So when you get put on notice that you're going to be sued, the last thing you want to do is make any public announcements about that specific thing that are not very well crafted by your legal team. So what makes the most amount of sense is that if I were a lawyer representing any company that was being sued, the first thing I tell my client is don't make any public statements about this. Do not address it. Do not acknowledge it. Do not do anything. That'll only hurt you. So I don't know if there's a gag order specifically, but like any lawyer will tell their client, don't fucking say anything right now, whether true or not. Don't say anything. So that's probably what's happening.
Yeah, and I would back up Restalgia exactly. He just nailed it, right? There's not going to be a gag order from a judge, but you're an idiot if you go out and talk, because if you just misspeak, that's evidence, and you will lose because you've destroyed your own credibility. So you got to be quiet.
So Your buddy here, Prince Malcolm, Detroit, you just did a stream with him a little while ago. We know him for years on the Iconic side. He was always reaching out to companies. I saw him post this on Facebook earlier. Iconic needs a community social media manager and or spokesperson. And I think he wants the job. That's why he's saying it. But on top of that, I think we all kind of anticipated David McIntosh that would be part of his role with Iconic Arcade. So I think there's that. But they do have like a Facebook page. So it would be nice if they, had some communication there. I don't think John can say anything. And I think a lot of the questions people want answered here, they can't answer right now because maybe it is tied up with legal issues. So even if they had a community manager, like, what does that person say? Right?
They won't say anything. They won't say anything. And quite frankly, David McIntosh is working with John D. Well, or at least they were working the last time that we've heard anything meaningful. And David McIntosh is no dummy. So I'm sure he's doing exactly what is being requested by the legal team of Iconic Arcade. It's quite simple. If there is a legal team involved, right? These are all alleged rumors that are going around, right?
Yeah, both Media, OneUp, and DMAX Company are separate companies that have a contractual relationship with Iconic Arcade. Neither one of them can speak on behalf of Iconic Arcade without their express permission. And so, like, they can't, like, now, obviously they appear to have given John permission at because he's made a couple statements for specific things, but I guarantee you they crafted what that message was going to be, and he just delivered it as the kind of face that they've been using.
I have no doubt the lawyers literally said this is safe to it. Or if John wrote it, it went to the lawyer made the edits, and then John sent it out.
John did that.
This isn't some fly-by-night company with like 5 dudes down in Florida trying to figure it out. This is, Lenovo is behind Medion, who owns Iconic Arcade, right? So, they have corporate lawyers that are doing distribution across 3 Canada, US, all of Europe. Like, they've got
even if they weren't a huge company, like in business, when you have something that you have to do legally, you run it past the lawyer, you pay them by the hour. Like, this wouldn't be if John just needed a lawyer to look over a press release, the lawyer would probably charge him like whatever the hourly rate is, $300 an hour with a 3 to 4 hour minimum, and then John would just pay $1,500 and off he goes, and it's done.
Yeah.
So, like, even if there is no cease and desist involved, and John is just being highly careful about what he says, if it goes to a lawyer, it's not going to cost them that much. Like, it'd be stupid to do anything without like legal assistance when you're going to be doing something public facing like that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Prince Malcolm. You do not want that job. you don't want anything close to that.
if Prince Malcolm wants to be a spokesperson for somebody, there's a really awesome YouTube channel called Restalgia that could use a spokesperson. You just hit me up and we can get you set up.
And I want to comment on the people talking about get your money. Obviously, that's the individual's choice, But the reality is that unless you spent your rent money on something and you absolutely need that money, the money's already spent, right? And you're going to get the product eventually. It's going to cost more if the economy keeps going the way it was by the time these things come out. And it's not like it's a Kickstarter where you're at risk of losing your money. So to talk about that end of it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you wanted the product, you put the money down for pre-order to ensure that you got the product. Bailing out of it ensures that you don't get the product, so that's not
you gotta understand there was only one comment saying get your money back, and that comes from Biggie D. And Biggie D sometimes can make really good points, and then other times he says stuff like the AtGames Legends Pinball 4K is going to be $7.99. Hear me first. So, like, I don't know. He's all over the place with his predictions and his concepts and stuff like that. So, I wouldn't put too much stake into that. Honestly, if anybody wants their money back, literally just ask anybody else that canceled. Like, it takes like a day, 2 days, and you get a full refund. There is no risk. There's nobody off in a boat with your money or anything like that. So, no need to be worried.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? You're not pre-ordering directly from Iconic. You're pre-ordering from VMI, which is Spreetail, which is Shop Hippo, right? Like that company is there whether Iconic is there or not, right? So that's who has your money right now, not even Iconic. And I'll say the same thing I said to people with Wonderland. Like if you jumped in the Kickstarter early and you were worried about it, you got to do what you got to do. It's your money. Like you have to make the decisions. Don't feel like you have to commit if you're worried about it. Pull out. It'll be. I'm sure if and when it ships, you'll be able to buy one later. Maybe it's $50 more. Whoopee, So.
Yeah, I have a lot less concern about a product like this than something through Kickstarter or something like that. Like they just can't take your money. There's a chain here, there's I don't know. It's just frustrating hearing people say that because people take things based on speculation with no insight, no follow through, no research, and they just run with it. But that's the internet today, right? No one does the research. They're just like, I heard something, so that's the way it is. If it's on the internet, it's got to be true, right?
100%. That's how the internet works, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've only found the internet to be 100% trustworthy. And
same with the show. Everything we say on the show should be taken as gospel.
Yeah, I just buy literally everything you guys talk about. So
good. Yeah. And while we're talking about things you should buy, I'm just kidding.
I bought Bloodstorm while we were talking.
Yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
All right. So, anyways, guys, the whole thing with Iconic Arcade, like, it sucks. It sucks as a delay. I think they handled the delay situation bad. I think the email going out to the pre-order holders prior to the announcement was a misstep. I think that announcement should have went out first before that email came out because it did create some unnecessary panic. Then a couple days later, they got the news, and even the update wasn't kind of what we hoping for. I think John D did put up a second post saying there's going to be more information coming soon about like changes with the cabinet, maybe the art. But that's the other side of this that's frustrating because I haven't pre-ordered yet. I want to pre-order, but like 19K Fox said earlier, I also want to see like a production unit. I want to see UI. I want to know how things work. I want to know what the artwork's going to look like. And this is an Arcade OneUp. Like Arcade OneUp could pull that shit. They could say, yeah, there's a render of the cab we're coming out with. Put your pre-orders in, and people would buy it until they fucked up and made some bad cabs. And this is a new company where we haven't seen a product come out from yet. So you're not going to be able to treat it the same way as Arcade OneUp. You can't, send. I'll use Killer Instinct as an example because it always bothered me so much that they said they were going to do the right thing, send it out to a YouTuber with expertise before it came out to the public. They sent one out to Twisted Chris, and he received it already after the whole shipment were on the boats coming over. It was too late. If Twisted Chris got it and said problem, it's too late. They can't change anything. So what's the point in getting that feedback from somebody at that point, right? So
and even though Iconic is not Arcade OneUp, you would be naive to think that John D working with them doesn't carry the baggage of some of those missed things, right? Yeah. And so you're going to say, hey, we've had some missteps in the past. You've got to prove it to me. And here's a miss. Well, I say I would rather have a delay. I've heard this from many people in the past. Rather they delay the product than ship it like Arcade OneUp did, where things don't work, like no online play, bad lag, whatever. Wouldn't you rather them delay 2 months, get it right, or deal with what we've dealt before with Arcade OneUp?
All right, quick question for the whole panel here, because this is going to be a similar thing. Do you think the huge failure with NFL Blitz was based on the fact that it shipped before the online was working, or they just made too many units? They over predicted what the demand would be, and they just had too many units out in retailers too quick. What do you think was the biggest failure there, and the reason it went down in price so quick?
And before we do that, and you're calling it a failure because they had to reduce the price? That's why
no, it was commercially a failure for Arcade OneUp. They lost millions. I'm not saying the cab was bad. We all fucking had fun with it. It was great.
Do we know for a fact they lost millions? Yeah. Like, where? Just so I know.
It did pretty much bankrupt the company and ruin their relationship with retailers. Yeah.
100% that is fact.
Yeah, where we get that from?
I just want to know like where it was sourced.
Yeah.
It's been admitted
By
in a public AMA chats with John and others that it was a disaster.
okay, as long as we have a source, then I don't mind talking about it. I don't know. I
My
don't really know the
source is
situation.
some guy on the internet. We just clarified that that's a reliable
That's fair.
source.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Yeah, that's true.
So
I should have just
don't know how much they lost or whatever, but it was definitely a huge blow to them.
Yeah. So, well, who wants to start? Because I've got my own.
I'll start because I'll be on a totally different page than what you guys are talking about. I agree that it should have not been released prior to the online working when that was the big promise of it. It's a cabinet I got day one, which was rare because I usually don't have to have a cabinet for day one. I did take it back and replaced it with the reduced priced one, so I benefit from that as well. But it was a cabinet that I was glad to have, that I still own today, and I still enjoy playing. It's been modded since, so now I have the late hits, which was one of the big things that people complained about it. So did it release with that? No. Can I do it today? Yes. And so the cabinet's fantastic for me. Whether from my perspective, I don't care if Arcade OneUp made money, lost money. I have a great cab in my collection that I love to play, that people come over and love to play. So for me, the cabinet is a win, and whatever the route it was, I'm glad I got it. I'm glad it's made the progress that the mystery encoder guys knocked it out the park with that. But added tons of 4-player games on there, The Simpsons and Turtles and all these other games. So it's a cabinet that's wonderful for me. So
I'm glad of that, Carl. I really appreciate your perspective on that. Of course, that doesn't really relate to what we're talking about at all, as we're talking about the business side of things. And
Right.
that was terrible for Arcade OneUp. I'm just being a little bit feisty with Carl because he did call me an idiot in our chat earlier.
I saw that. It was actually really fun.
It was really rude.
No, it was hilarious.
it was a
It was well played.
dictation. It was a dictation misstep. But I mean, maybe they know more than I know.
What happened was Carl said, yeah, I'm going to invite James Hates Everyone. And I was like, yeah, I already invited James. And he was like, I thought I was going to do that. And I was like, well, then go ahead and do it. I don't care. And he was like, that's because you're an idiot. And I was like, whoa, Carl, whoa.
I told the dictation to say, I thought you already did it.
Yeah.
That was quite funny.
Bobby 1ALU makes a really good point here. I think like we don't understand the business side of this sometimes. So in order to make this work, Arcade OneUp had to produce and sell a certain volume for the return on investment for the licensing to work. That's what I'm assuming.
That's called a minimum guarantee.
Yeah, minimum guarantee. So that's why they did it. There's no doubt about that. It's just from a business, like from your... It's weird because they came off that huge year, the first year where COVID, where they really jumped up their numbers, and then they overproduced. So it couldn't have come out a worse time because they had that huge year of sales. They made a massive amount of cabs one year. And then the next year, people were, no longer spending money. They were getting out, going to restaurants, not buying shit like this. Some people were over Arcade OneUp with the price increases. And they came out expecting the same demand from like 2 years ago. That's their projection instead of what it would have been currently. And that's kind of where they got caught, I think.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, there were two major failures. And it wasn't late hits or online play. I think people can forgive all those. I think it was the timing of the release was wrong. You release an NFL cab when the season is essentially over, except for playoff teams. And that was a mistake. The hype for NFL is in the August, July, August timeframe when everybody's optimistic that their team's going to go undefeated, right? And then the second one was Walmart cut them off at the knees, specifically Sam's Club, when they sold it for a month and then immediately slashed the price. And that hurt them because everybody knew they could just run to Walmart and get it so cheaper that they couldn't sell it for the full price. And the way our Arcade OneUp's deals with Walmart and some of these other retailers were, if you discounted it, they made up the gap. And that again was just a massive amount of cash outflow as a result of just poor timing. And they likely just needed to rein Walmart in and say, we're glad you're so optimistic about how many of these you can sell, but please, be more cautious. But they saw big dollar signs with a big order and just let it happen, and it all unfolded, in my opinion, that way.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you've said. I do think that a big factor in here is those minimum guarantees. I think that they were over projecting what they would sell because it was an NFL backed product. And they assumed that just having the NFL tie-in was going to just sell units, because NFL merch is like ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
People buy so much NFL merch. It's mind-boggling if you actually look at the volume of sales that the NFL does, like billions and billions of dollars in annual revenue. And I think Arcade OneUp was under the assumption, well, this is going to be wildly popular with every single team because all of the teams are represented within the game. So I think they massively overproduced. They overcommitted to what would be a reasonable minimum guarantee. And I think it significantly underperformed. And I don't think the online play had anything to do with the fact that it undersold. Correct. Maybe within the core community, but definitely not on a mass scale. And I think actually the late hits probably had more of an impact on the sales than the online did. That's my, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but my opinion is the late hits was more impactful to the average consumer than the lack of online play on launch.
I think people also forget how much money they put into marketing this thing, like bringing in these NFL legends, doing those videos and stuff like that. They went all in on this. They bet hard and lost. Now, I disagree with both of you. You guys know where I'm going with this. I think the biggest failure
was a great success.
No, that was Carl. Based on his enjoyment. The biggest failure with this, side art.
That's the biggest failure.
100%.
I love the side art.
Mike, you are an idiot.
It had one of my favorite players of all time on the side. That was like, because I know you like the original cabs, and for the most part, that's what I like too. But I think Blitz has one of the worst original side arts of any cab that's ever been released. I loved having Terrell Davis on the side.
Dude, yeah. I can't believe you said that. They were targeting current NFL.
Yes, that's what they were targeting, but they forgot what their company was. And this is what Arcade OneUp does all the time. Are they a nostalgia company selling reproductions of original cabs that are going to be nostalgic for people to put in their home? Or are they coming up with pretty shit that they think that just people are going to go out and buy? And this is a difference of opinion that me and you can have. You can call me an idiot, but I think they would have been better off going with the nostalgia product than what they delivered.
Well, I hate to trend for today, so we have to stick with it. But I would say that Arcade OneUp was making a whole lot of blunders around that time. If we just talk about the Killer Instinct, they announced a $1,000 one, then they come out with the cheaper one at the same time with their taking orders for this. I mean, they were not making a lot of great business decisions at that point in time, and I don't know who was making those decisions.
Carl, and let's clear up that story. So Arcade OneUp announces a Killer Instinct 3/4 scale cab. The day that comes out to retail, they announce the Pro. So it completely dwarfed all the sales on what the 3/4 would have been. Right. So then the day that the Pro goes up for pre-order, they then put the 3/4 scale on sale for $299 clearance and blow it out, which then killed all the momentum for the sales of the Pro. These people have a PhD in fucking up their business.
Mike, I gotta say, it was not the side art that affected the sales, dude.
Listen, that's fine. That's your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Most of them are nostalgia.
but Mike, you can't think that this, if they had used original art, that their sales volume would have increased. There's no way you actually believe that, right?
I 100% believe that there's an element out there where people are more likely to buy an arcade one-up that's a recreation of the original arcade that they can put in their home, relive that nostalgia from college when they saw this in their bars and shit like that, if they're going to have like a man cave, or if they're going to have one of these arcades like we have. Like when I see something with like do-it-yourself art or like modern art and stuff like that, me personally, and I'm probably talking about a very small percentage of the fan base of Arcade One-Up, are going to be like, yeah, I don't fucking want that.
No, but the thing is that this product was launched with like, think of like the average NFL junkie or average NFL fan that has like a decked out basement with like jerseys up on the wall and like balls that are signed and inside of an acrylic case or on a display stand somewhere, and they've got like a bar in their basement. They don't want something that looks like it was straight out of the 80s. They want something that's modern and unique.
Well, this game was made in the late 90s, Restalgia.
No, but it physically would look better with modern art amongst all of the rest of their setup. I'm
going to be very clear.
I don't think the issue of that it was modern art. I think the quality of the art was not that great.
The quality of the art was bad too, but I want to be very clear. Restalgia, your generation and the things you were saying right now, in my opinion, are the fucking problem with Arcade One-Up.
What are you talking, dude? I'm talking about like the average.
I know,
50-year-old.
but not the average 50-year-old. This is the kind of stuff that Cyrus and them get on with. They're like, yeah, we could do a Cuber cab, but I was thinking we could do something really stupid.
But we're not
their board
talking
meetings.
about. No, but I understand that. But we're not talking about Cuber, which is a very niche product. Yeah. We're talking about an NFL game that is made for the masses of NFL fans. So using the original artwork probably would appeal to some people, but I think it would appeal to far less than a modernized.
From what I understand, specifically what happened, and he can change his story now. John D told me he didn't like the original art, but then later on I heard that he fought for it. I don't know what exactly happened, but I'm assuming the exact same thing you were thinking with the art is exactly what they were thinking. The art for NFL Blitz, to me, it's iconic, but everybody kind of thinks it's kind of ugly. So they wanted to do something modern that tried to appeal to more people. And to me, it's a miss. I'm going to state that because that's my feeling. I'm not going to say it's I was joking. I don't know if this really affected the sales, but for me and for people like me who want arcade recreations, I'm 100% sure it impacted that very small segment of the fan base. Really quickly, Carl, do you want to get these before you jump in?
So I was going to say, so we had a $2 battle going here, starting off with B. Kirby. I agree with James. Hates everyone. On Blitz. Then Kevin Clausen says he's agreed with B. Kirby. Then Jason Little Alien said he's agreed with $2 chats. Port of Dreams agreed with Kirby, but not Kevin. Where'd we go? Okay.
There you go, Carl. I'll help you out.
No, you're actually checking it up there, actually.
There it is.
Then, I don't know what that Fate All 13. I agree with Jason. Then Billy Woods chimed in. I agree with a green. Jason tweeted back. I agree. Curry came back once again with $2. Man, we appreciate all these things. And then Kevin Clausen came once again, 100%. And then Corner King had to cheap out and take a penny off with him. Let's agree to disagree. And then B. Kirby's back with $5. I don't remember what the OG site art looked like. Thank you guys for all of the super chats. But I did want to say something here about this. I can say, even though you're saying this is a massive failure, I can say there's other cabinets that I know that had fire sales that were selling those cabinets. I would, one that comes to mind is the Simpsons cab. You could get those things way than with the NFL. So from that perspective, I don't think NFL was that big of a failure. No matter how many cabinets, they still sold them at pretty decent prices. At least $300. I don't recall it being less.
Oh, it went less and very quickly.
Yeah, I don't recall it being much less than that. But I would say people are willing to pay. Hell, you pay for a hat or a jersey, you're paying $300 for it. So people that are fans of NFL, I don't think those prices were something that they would balk on. But if we're talking about site art, I think they would have been better off allowing people to pick the team that they wanted to be on the side of it. And I think that thing would have been a much better success if people were able to pick the Lions or Green Bay or whatever and have those things put on the side of it.
Totally agree. That's where they were smart with the stools, but they didn't distribute them wide enough, right? Like, so you could pick your favorite team's stool. Like, that would have been great, you know. And the right release schedule would be to re-release it every year with new side art every August, right? And let you, oh, I got to get the new one, even though it's the same thing, right? But people would have bought it again and again.
And I think even if whatever cabinet they made too many of, I think you were in a better position with an NFL cabinet to have an audience of people that would buy it. Had you made too many Simpsons or made too many Simpsons, probably would have been a runner up to that. But any other cabinet, a Space Invaders or something like that, where you wouldn't have that broad appeal. So I think even if it was a blunder, it was the best blunder that they could have made. And they were definitely in a position to make a lot of blunders at that time for some particular reason.
Yep, let's just all agree that Arcade OneUp had a really good idea, and then the people working there managed to fuck up the entire business. Can we all agree to that?
Yes. It's a shame because it's a great cab, and it's
It is. I just wish it had different side art.
Son of a bitch.
Anyways, guys, I do want to talk about something else. I don't think my ship will go down on this one. So here's a post from Glenn there the other day. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. So we all talk about this, and why are we not on screen here? So we all talk about like products getting delayed. Another product that was delayed was, remember the iArcade? We all remember that. And when it went down, Glenn was going to come out with this product called the KVM switchers. So the original pre-order went out. They got enough offers, and then people were at Glenn do a second run. So the second run went out, and that's done. It's been a year. People paid for it. They're waiting on updates. Glenn did finally provide an update there the other day. So for those of you waiting on your iArcade KVM switchers, the manufacturer of our Wi-Fi chip in the Viper went to a new, better chipset. We're getting the Wi-Fi drivers dialed in on Arcade. We have seen performance issues. While not terrible, it's not where I want them to be. We've been going back and forth with the manufacturer of the Wi-Fi chipset to get some adjustments made. I'm trying to get a new update on the shipping date. I'm hoping I'll have that free. Free will be to, I don't know what he's trying to say there, but we don't want to ship out a product and not have the Wi-Fi working to what I feel is properly. Glenn did tell me personally, which he probably doesn't want me telling people, but I'll tell him, he's hoping that it's going to be out by July. So for those people that did pre-order the iArcade KVM switcher for your iArcade, this is an update from Glenn if you haven't seen it already. So it's nice to see some feedback from that. I've only seen like 2 posts on this myself, people looking for it, but at the same time, it's good that the communication is out there. Anybody else still have an iArcade, have one of these on order?
Nope.
I still have an iArcade, but I have no clue what this product does.
It puts the Viper in and allows you to switch back and forth between your original iArcade hardware and the Viper board, so you can add games to it.
Okay.
Carl, you know what a KVM switch is, right? You can have like one PC
keyboard,
connected to multiple
video,
devices connected to one. Yeah.
Keyboard, video, and monitor switcher.
Yeah, so that's effectively what it is. You get a secondary board, and then you can bounce between the original like OEM board that's in the iArcade or this new Viper board that allows you to sideload whatever you want to it.
Yeah, even though Michael's an idiot, he explained it a lot clearer.
Now remind me.
You're an idiot. Whoa, Carl.
Remind me, iArcade, that's the company that's still moving offices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving.
Yeah, they're almost done.
They're moving from Chicago to jail. That's the rumor, anyways.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good.
Tony C says he has a KVM in his iArcade, loves it. Awesome. Yeah, so that's an update on iArcade. What else did we have to discuss tonight? AtGames. AtGames released Moon Flight Deluxe. I'm guessing nobody here has had a chance to play it yet, correct?
I have.
No, he hasn't.
Moonflight?
No, he
Yeah.
hasn't. Moon Patrol? You play Moon Patrol?
No, Moon Flight Deluxe.
Moon
It's
Flight.
the newest deluxe pinball game from AtGames. I'm going to try to get it up here. Hopefully my Wi-Fi doesn't shit out on this one so I can show you it. You guys tell me what you think of it. I've heard good things about this so far, even though this is a Zachariah game. I played Black Belt Deluxe last night, and that's just okay. Like, there's some really good things that AI does with the play field. Like, some stuff looks good, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. Gameplay was okay. Like, it was fun, but there's still some weird quirks with the ball. The physics just don't fucking make any sense. The ball's a little bit too light. It was just okay. Music was good. It had a really cool thing. It actually had these ninja stars down on the out lanes that actually moved as the ball went through it, kind of like a spinner. And I thought that was a really nice touch. But otherwise, it's just a blah game. But I have heard good things about Moon Flight Deluxe.
Well, since I'm not contractually obligated to say anything, that's the way I feel about all the AtGames pinball tables. So I always have the same opinion on any tape that comes out, unfortunately. Nostalgia, you said you had a chance to play it?
No, I was lying.
He's full of shit. He's so full of shit. Full of shit.
Now that we met our obligation to AtGames.
No, we haven't finished yet. Hold on 1 second.
They got more?
Yes, Carl.
Paid him a
we
lot
have
of money
more.
this week. That's what it is. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you bellheads. Anyways, here's Moon Flight Deluxe. I want to show you the video so you get a quick look at what it is. Tell me what you think of it.
It's a space theme?
I thought it was about the moon crashing into the earth.
That's what I thought too.
So I heard actually the DMD actually has new animations. It's got a lower play field there. That's somewhat interesting. This is my first time looking at it. They sent me a code for the game.
Why do they
Just
have
haven't
those
had a chance to
graphics
play it
of,
yet.
like, fake? Is that like a lower level with those other flippers there?
Yeah, that's a lower level, kind of like Haunted House or Black Hole, right?
Okay. Right. I'm just throwing me off.
So there are 8 flippers on this table. That's more flippers than a retro gaming convention.
Less than $1 per flipper if you pick up this game. All right, what do you guys think?
What's the soundtrack sound like? Like the audio for the game?
Let me go out and then I'll share again with audio. How about that?
Good plan. I'm curious. I had not seen this until just now. So
Yeah.
Also
I
share
need the
tab
full
audio.
experience.
All right, entire screen. It says it's going to share tab audio. Share. All right, let's do this again.
One, fire!
Music's not bad. I like it.
I never like that extra music that's just always playing.
Yeah, it's a little generic.
Now, is the little TV screen at the bottom, is that actually showing like real footage? Because that would be kind of cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, like a live video. Is that what you mean? Like an actual video?
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's a static image with a filter over top. That's
Yeah.
No, I would say the physics look pretty decent.
Mike, do you think that they'll update this with the original Jurassic Park music?
At some point, they have to,
I
right?
hope so.
Anyways, guys, that's Moon Flight Deluxe. I'm going to be streaming it tomorrow night. AtGames were kind enough to send me a code, so I'll be checking it out. Again, I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but I watch Yo Retro on Thursday nights, and half a dozen, or as I playfully call them, 6, and our buddy Chaotic BPR, they said they liked this one. Actually, 6 gave it like a lot of praise and said like this is, getting up there where he feels comfortable, like on the Zen level with what Zachariah are doing. I don't know about that. We'll see. I really liked Earth, Wind, Fire. I don't know if you guys played that one, but that one was fun. Black Belt, not so much, but I'm excited to check it out. I'm really excited because apparently the DMD has new animations, so we'll see what they look like.
Yeah, and like I said, my issue typically on the AtGames tables is the ball physics. Now I don't have the 4K, so I can't talk about that at all. I just have the ALP. But the ball physics look very good on that game there.
I will tell you, one of the things that really frustrates me, I'm not much of a nudger. Like, I like to just kind of keep the ball in play without moving the machine or doing any of that shit. I know that's blasphemy for pinball guys to say, but one of the things that really irritates me, I was having a lot of trouble with it on Black Hole, and it seems to be a normal thing for me on Zachariah games. The ball physics don't make any fucking sense. Like, they have the two out lanes, and then the two lanes, and then the out lane. And then the ball gets down there and then performs like circus moves down there and is light as air, which is not realistic, right? So I noticed that in the video. I think I'm so scared from playing Black Belt last night that I noticed it immediately. I wish they would do some stuff with that. I mean, Zen's physics don't work like that, right?
No.
You're right, Mike. Yeah.
Like, am I crazy? Am I just trying to justify my shittiness? You guys can tell me. I got, you know.
I don't know. I've never really noticed anything specifically about the ball physics changing towards the outfields, but I don't know. Maybe is there a magnet there that's like underneath the table? That's like
there's no magnet. The ball just goes bleep 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 bleep, goes around.
Oh,
in
and it
circles,
just like bounces around.
Oh yeah, like crazy. The ball loses all its weight and then just goes weightless and just bounces around for no reason. It's like a random thing happening in fucking Sonic Spinball instead of a pinball table, right? Or pinball game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear that. You know what I typically say when it bounces and it drains and you end up getting like a really low score. You know what I typically say about stuff like that? Yeah, get fucking good, Mike.
Yeah, get good. GG's.
Well, speaking of pinball and Zen, I think let's move on to that so we can get this 2-hour show wrapped up.
This is a 3-hour show, Carl. This is the season finale. It's got to end on a cliffhanger too. Yeah. Really quickly, Pinball FX VR. We talked about it last week, but it came out this week, and I wouldn't say it's been a pleasant surprise because we all really liked what it was before, but really nice addition with the 9 new games. I think we can all agree Safecracker is the fucking worst.
I like it.
Oh my God, I hate it.
Though I have played it on my VPX, and I hadn't been a big fan of it, but I haven't played it on the VR just yet. Yeah.
So, Carl, did they send you out advanced copy where you got the XArcade and stuff, or did you pick these games up?
No, I'm on the press already, so I got them Wednesday night or whatever day it was, Tuesday night or whatever it was.
What's your experience like? Have you played all the tables yet, or all the games?
No, I had very little time because I had some dial time in, so I didn't get a lot, but I did get in and play my favorite, which is Attack from Mars. So I played Attack from Mars, and I didn't have the lights on right, so it was like some crazy stuff going on. I realized it was because the lights weren't on bright, and so I played Attack from Mars and Medieval Madness. So those are only 2 tables that I played so far on it, but I like the layout of the new rooms with the tables. I did do a quick video the other day, and people let me know that even if you don't have all the tables, they still see those new rooms, and they can play 3 minutes on each table or something like that. So that's pretty cool to be able to.
3 minutes is a really long time. Ask Restalgia.
Yeah.
It's so long.
It's a lifetime.
A minute. It's like twice as long as you even really need to go for. So
3 minutes. Whoa, baby. I'm not a marathon man here.
But you got to have snuggle time in there, right? Like
that makes up the first 2.5 minutes.
Takes me 4 minutes to get my shorts off. I really like the addition of the new pinball games. They all look great, like especially some of the machines that are very unique looking pinball machines. Someone just asked about Safecracker. Yes, the top area is interactive and it does have a specific shape. It's not like they're trying to shoebox these things into just one pinball design and throw some art on there. I mean, these are different machines, like the machines that are designed differently, like Black Rose and Party Zone, look different than the rest of the Zen pinball games, Safecracker especially, and they all really play well. The only issues I came across were I did notice that there were some musical issues on certain games. Like I was playing Attack from Mars, and I've played it so many times that when the music started to go off, I was like, oh, that's not right. So I did notice some weird musical glitches at times where the audio was kind of messed up. The other thing I noticed was not all the games, but they have the launch button now on some of these William Classic games. Some of the launch buttons work great. It was no problem to put my finger down and actually press the button to launch the ball. But then on Champions Pub, I couldn't actually move my virtual hand off the machine to press the launch button. So there was some weird connection thing going on there. So it seems like they launched it, and there's still a few bugs to work out.
And just so I understand what you're saying, because I have not done what you're explaining, is so you're playing with the Arcade stick, or no? With
no, I'm playing just with the Zen Pinball.
You're just using the Joy-Cons in your hand.
Yep.
Okay. And you reach down and you push a button to launch instead of the trigger, or is that what you're saying? Or
yeah, there's a virtual launch button that you actually put your finger on and launch the ball.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Do you actually put the virtual coins in too? Like,
no, I don't do that. Ain't nobody got time for that, James.
And James, I know you've been playing. I seen your score up on Attack from Mars.
Yeah, I've played every table 3 or 4 times when we got the pre-release a little bit. And like, you know, Mike was saying, that the different sizes is one of the great aspects, right? So when you come up with Safecracker, it's a mini pin. It's a nice change of pace to all the others. When you have a wide body table, it's actually wide body, and then you get the full view. Like, it's really cool in VR, stuff you really can't do in a standard V pen. But I've been having a ton of fun again. I've said this 1,000 times. I think I play way better in that Pinball FX VR, and I don't know if it's just the VR aspect that I can see everything better, or if the physics of the games make it easier in VR. But I play way better in there.
So I go back and forth on this because some games, like I'm terrible at the Getaway. Terrible. Like no matter what I play it, I always get shit scores. I played the Getaway once to record footage, and I put up like a 284 billion score, a million score, right? And like that is not normal for me. I am not that good at the Getaway. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a little bit easier. But then I go to games that I'm really used to, like Medieval Madness and Attack from Mars that I play all the time, and I can't hit the shots I normally hit. I had problems with Attack from Mars. Like I'm usually like a 5 to 8 billion guy, and all of a sudden I'm struggling to put up 1.6 billion. I'm like, something off here. It's the exact same engine, supposedly the exact same physics, but I always have a different thing, and maybe it's the viewpoint, whether I play on PC, on a digital pin table like the AtGames Legends Pinball, or digital in the virtual world here. I don't know what it is. Exact same game, exact same engines. Yeah. Maybe it's perspective, but I find it harder to play. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that the games are going to play the same. Ball will move around the same. The response time should be the same. I think it's 100% the perspective. When you're playing it on a PC or something, the table's not moving, right? Like the play field is static. It's not going anywhere. But in VR, even if you're standing there really still, your body has like a natural little bit of a sway to it. You can't be perfectly still. So that's going to affect it. That I think realistically, Mike, the way that you would play that game and your score is going to be better represented in VR to what it would be like in real life playing a real machine than it is playing the virtual versions on console.
Restalgia, I respect you, and I think you're a really good guy, but I also know Mad Ben Han is amazing at pinball, and he says Zen plays differently on all platforms. So I'm going to go with Mad Ben Han here.
Okay, that's fair.
And JT Brunick says it as well. And he also told me to hold the trigger. I don't know what that's about.
Oh,
yeah. So, Restalgia, are you going to be picking these up or picking these up?
Maybe. I don't really have a ton of time. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm working on right now.
Like playing Bloodstorm?
Yeah. I'm trying to get really good at it because I think it's going to have a comeback. I think that's the game to keep your eye out on. Bloodstorm is the one.
Bloodstorm and Time Killers Fighting Collection 1.
Yep, that's the one. That's where the money's at. So I'm going to get really good at it. So when it comes around, I'll be a prolific YouTuber that's just showing off my skill playing those games.
Nice. Carl, so have you been enjoying it, digging it?
Yeah. Again, the first time I played the Pinball FX VR, I was like, I need my Attack from Mars, so I got that. So I'm ecstatic. So I'm looking forward to this weekend to get more gameplay in. I have Monday off as well, so I plan to get some time in.
Yeah, James, do you guys got a long weekend this weekend? It's May 24th weekend, we call it here, also known as Victoria Day. Do you guys do a long weekend on this weekend?
It's next weekend. Memorial Day is next weekend for us, so that will give us 3 days.
Nice.
And I should say, right, got to disclose that, I was provided these tables for free, yada, yada, yada. But I will say, I think one of the biggest surprises for me is the retail price. Like, these were surprisingly affordable, especially after the DLC tables on the initial release being basically like $10 or $15 a table. To have 3 packs for $10 of some of the best Williams tables like ever made seemed phenomenally a good value.
So I love when people like get sticker shock about the Zen tables in Pinball FX VR, because they're like, whoa, where the fuck are these prices coming from? Did you not buy these games on Steam? They were the same price on Steam. They're just mirroring the price they charged on Steam for the pinball packs. That's it.
Yeah, well, it's so much of us, I think, are used to the AtGames
Sales.
price and
And
$5,
AtGames price.
right? And the ones I've bought on Steam, I've bought for like $1 or $2 on a sale. I've never paid the full price on it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Me neither. I've definitely never played the full price.
No, I know you haven't for any VR game, you piece of shit.
That's not true. There's a couple games that I've paid for.
Really? Which ones?
I have to think about it. I'm not sure at this point. I have to think really long and hard about which ones were the ones that I actually paid for.
Oh, can you believe it, guys? We went an hour and 49 minutes without P-Dubs, without him calling in, forcing us to restart the show. I think this is a new record. This
is definitely not the longest that we've ever done. This is the longest that we've ever done with it. No, P-Dubs did pop in. He popped in and said hello.
In the chat.
That's still that's the same.
I would say this is the longest we've gone without me nodding off, though.
Yeah, that's
good. I do got one last. Like I'm really back into playing like a lot of modern games. I just went out and bought a new TV. Like I'm all about it. What's everybody playing like right now? Like I'm not talking about like, oh, which arcade game have you been putting 5 minutes into? I'm talking about, is there anything you're playing right now that you're really into? Like Restalgia, like you were really excited for Assassin's Creed. Are you still playing that, or you moved on to something else?
I actually stopped playing that game because I stopped enjoying it after a little while.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I think the story was okay, but it felt, and don't get me wrong, Assassin's Creed games are repetitive. That's the whole freaking point. But it was like really repetitive. It just felt like I was just playing an old Assassin's Creed game with a new skin, and it wasn't super engaging after a little while. So I ended up putting in something like 20 hours, and then I was like, I think I'm done here. Like that's all I'm committing to this. So I do have the original Ghost game for PS5. I got that a few months ago. I haven't started that. I think that's going to be the next one, but I actually haven't been playing anything in the recent past. There hasn't been any games that I played.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima was just marvelous. Like we're talking like world-changing game. You definitely want to play that before Yote comes out.
Yeah, so that's on the hit list.
What about you, Carl? Still playing Tiger Woods on the Switch? Are you playing anything on consoles now, or is there any game that's really caught your interest?
I haven't played. I think I played golf probably a week ago. That was the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And when the weather changes up here, I am not on any of these things. So it's tough to get me on anything. I hadn't even been playing putt-putt with you guys.
Putt-putt. That's what I call it too. I don't like calling it walkabout mini golf. I call it putt-putt. And I explain it to friends.
Yeah. So I haven't really played much of anything between had to cut the grass now and in the garden. We've expanded the garden. And then so my cycling season is going to start here. They actually tried to get us to start this week, but I declined. Yeah, I won't. So probably the only thing I would be able to get time in for is VR, because that's portable. I can take that, you know, and get some time in. But hopefully I can get that in this weekend. That's not guaranteed. But the console, to sit down at the TV this time of year, if I sit down in front of the TV, I'm going to be asleep. So it's not going to happen.
What about you, James? What are you playing?
I'm in the middle of 2 of them, so I'm still trying to finish the last handful of mission of Assassin's Creed, Hitman World of Assassination VR, which is just phenomenal. It's like by far my favorite VR game. And then Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I'm about 7 hours into that. Took a while to get me started. That prologue is long and dry, but once it starts, it is really enjoyable, and the artistic styling in that game is just beautiful and imaginative. Like you're in that underwater area that you're not really underwater. Is so cool. Like there's a lot of great art style in it.
Nice. So I started Clear Obscure, probably about 4 or 5 hours in. That's where I'm to. I just got past the first like real boss battle when you have your party, or the party of 2 at least. But I've gone back to Alan Wake, and I've really pushed through. I'm going to get through it. I've never beat Alan Wake 1. I got frustrated with it and just stopped. I haven't beat Control, but I'm hoping that Alan Wake 2. I'm hoping Alan Wake 2 is going to force me to go back and play the other games. I thought I was done Alan Wake 2. I was on a thing the other night, and it said, if you make this decision, you're in the end game. And I was like, I'm going to finish the game now. And then all of a sudden, I don't finish the game. Now I got to play, and I knew there were options to play this version, but now I'm playing stuff as Alan Wake. But I just played the level that's the musical where the metal song is going, and it changed everything for me. I was like, all right, this is the best fucking game I've ever played in my entire life. The old gods of Asgard are playing this song, and you walk basically through this music video while you're taking down these enemies. And I was this is incredible. And I love hair metal, so it's just so fucking perfect. And I absolutely fell in love with Alan Wake 2. I'm definitely going to go back and play the other games now.
That's the one where you're on stage and like mowing them down. Yeah, that's that.
Oh, so awesome. Good. So goddamn good. And it's so pretty too. Like the new, 77-inch TV, having that jammed in my face, like, OLED, all those dark, rich blacks. So good. Anyways, guys, I see people leaving here. They want to go play putt-putt and do other things. And Restalgia looks like he's past his expiration date. So
I'm a little sleepy. Sorry, boy.
He's a little logy. Little logy. Ready to get his dress shirt off and his dungarees off. Anyways, Carl, you, my man, have the ultimate power. You're like the chair of the board. You can call this meeting to order. Send us home, my man.
So I got one quick thing here. So before Restalgia goes to sleep, do you guys ever play Forza Horizon? Is that the game any of you guys enjoy playing?
Yeah, that's a great game.
I always like it, but I never ever get into the missions. I just like driving. I go out and I just drive. I never do any missions. In the same way with a lot of those other games, I like to explore and just stay off most of the missions. But the other reason why I don't get to play as much is because, again, my daughter takes my consoles, and then they've been using my PC. So I come down here to do anything. My daughters have been getting into PC gaming. So because someone was asking, do you play? So they play PC and console. But my PC, they like my big 35-inch, curved screen here. So I keep telling y'all need to buy your own computer, because I can't make my stop motion. I can't do. They taking over my man cave. It's out of control. But that's where I'm at. But guys, hey, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, sticking around, and thank you for the super chats this week, man. You guys have been incredible. James, thank you for coming on and being filling the big shoes of P-Dubs. And we appreciate you. We love you. And until next time, we'll see you on the web.